Thanks for the opportunity to give a quick recap. It's still pretty raw. The grand final only finished a couple of weeks ago and sort of still processing. It was full of promise, and then we unfortunately lost a fair bit of momentum at the back end of the season. But I just wanted to share, I know there's a bit of content on the screens, but just wanted to share a little bit of the review, what we've taken out so far. We're still going through our program review and our staff review and trying to wrap everything up, but I can give you a quick little recap and some of the key things we've taken away to date, and then just a little snapshot into next season and some of our thoughts at this early stage on what that's going to look like. What worked for us, I think the off-season and pre-season went really well. The players' mindset, the way they attacked their training, the conditioning, they came back fitter and stronger, and their skill level had gone to another level. So there wasn't any hint of complacency and being content after tasting one premiership. So I was really pleased with the group's approach to how we attacked that build up to the season, and I think that reflected in our first 5 rounds. To be 5-0 after 5 rounds we're really pleased with, and some convincing wins, but it was more the way the team was playing. They were connected, strong around the contest. The ball use and skill level was excellent for where AFLW had been previously, and we were defending pretty well. We hit our first challenge for the season was against Adelaide in round 6. Their physicality, strength around the ball, they took away our time and space, and that was probably the first sign, all right, we've got some work to do here. We'd had things on our own terms for 5 rounds, and then we really got challenged, and that was a bit of an Achilles heel for us, the tackle pressure, taking away our uncontested possessions on the outside, and we sort of went about the next 2 weeks at improving that and in, I guess, armouring ourselves to compete against those sort of teams again, the top 4 teams. And that led to a good win against West Coast in round 7, and then a really strong team performance against North Melbourne, who were grand finalists in the end in round 8. That was probably our strongest performance for this season against North, and that was a full team effort, really brutal in the contest, ruthless with the way we defended. I think we kept them to 2 goals for the game, and we were able to connect on offence and hit the scoreboard. But the team was present, they were playing in the moment, playing for each other, celebrating the little things, and you could genuinely see the Demon spirit and connection of the group. Unfortunately, from there, we had a round 9 win at a windy day out at Casey, but then we travelled to Brisbane. We had a little bit of illness and injury, not enough to explain the performance we had then. It actually presented as a really good opportunity with a little bit of illness and injury for the team, the core group, to really step up against last year's grand finalists, who really had a lot to play for. They were playing for a top 4 spot. They were playing to sort of keep their season alive, and they were coming off a tough loss the week before. But unfortunately, we couldn't match their spirit, their intensity, and they outplayed us. And that really cost us a fair bit of momentum at the back end of the season. In a short season, a 10-round season, momentum can be a big thing. So what might have seemed like not too much of a big deal, because we ended up finishing second and getting a double chance, it actually had a fair bit of impact on our group. And we really didn't bounce back with our belief and connection as a team until the last quarter against Geelong in a semi-final, when the group came rattling home. Maybe seconds later it might have been a different outcome, but it was too little too late for us. And in the end, a bitterly disappointing end to a season that was full of a lot more promise based on the group that we had. So it's just a little insight in how the season played out, but the home and away season, finishing second with 18 teams in the comp now. We were 3rd in the comp for our contest, 2nd for team defence, and number 1 for offence. So it was pleasing to see our offence grow, but the learning from the previous season, we were number 1 for contest, number 1 for Team D, heading into a finals campaign. So that's probably an area we want to bounce back and make sure we're the strongest and we're the benchmark in the comp, for the way we compete and win the ball, and then for how we defend as well. So some growth opportunities there. A challenge, I've covered a fair bit of that. A key learning on reflection was something that really stood out the previous season, was the unconditional Demon spirit. And for us, it's the little things. It's the way we actually play. It's the way we compete. It's the way we do the little things for each other. When you've watched any of our men's and women's teams at their best, they're prepared to do more than the opposition for each other to get an outcome for the team and for the club. And that's really what we pride ourselves on, and how we go about our business day to day, and then how we represent and play and perform. So that was lacking for our group. There was a little bit of hesitation. There might have been a little bit of doubt. There was a little bit of disconnect in how we wanted to play. and that's ultimately why we got what we want. We got what we got. And moving into next year, we want to be unconditional in the way we go about our footy. If that ball's going to our forward line, you know exactly what you're going to get from those players in the forward line. If it's our mids, you know exactly what you're going to get from them in terms of their work rate. Our defenders, not giving an inch. And just the joy that the team plays with and how they connect, they know where each other are. That's ultimately what we're trying to achieve. And we failed to do that at the most important part of the season. Moving ahead to next year, so just planning what are our learnings. I think I'm wearing it today, when you win Premiership in AFLW, the branding for next season's apparel, you get a gold badge that you proudly wear to recognise you setting the gold standard the previous season. So next year, when we're going about our business, we want to set the gold standard again in AFLW. We want to raise the bar. We want to take the game to places it hasn't been yet. It's only in its 9th season next year, so we're constantly trying to push the boundaries and improve. Part of that is some player movement. There's 5 trades happening at the moment. We've had 2 delisted players and one retirement. So that will create some opportunities. We're hopeful to have 3 of the top 20 picks in the draft. A lot of the players that are moving have had a history in other sports, and they've come into our program and we've helped them grow and develop them as footballers. But the prospect of bringing in young footballers that have had a ball in their hands since they were 5, they've been kicking the footy in the backyard with their family, they've played all the way through, that's going to do wonders for the footy IQ and the standard of footy we're going to see in the future. So while there is some player movement, and we'll be sad to say goodbye to some premiership players and experienced players in our program, it is going to bring a new energy, a new level of footy IQ, and it is going to enhance our team because we've got a really strong core group. So we'll look to have 4 or 5 draftees. We've got 1 trade happening, and we'll have a spot for a rookie, so potentially head back over to Ireland. They seem to play harder and fiercer than many others, so they add a lot to our program. And all going well, we are hopeful of adding Gemma Rigoni, Guy Rigoni's daughter, under a father-daughter rule. So that's all to play out on Monday night in the draft, but fingers crossed we can land Gemma here at Melbourne, and we're pretty excited about that opportunity. Just from a program point of view, lastly from me, we're going to increase our staff resourcing. The players just completed a new CBA, a 4-year agreement, increased hours, increased pay, so we're able to train during the day a bit more, and obviously we need to be able to resource that with staff. So some key appointments: we'll have a full-time player development manager who will push and challenge and support the players with their off-field development and career aspirations. We'll have a full-time head of development. Obviously, where women's competition is at the moment, like and even at the top level in the men's program, you can't get enough of investing in the fundamentals of the game. So previously, I've been the only full-time coach. So we're going to increase our resourcing in that area. We'll have a full-time high-performance manager that can help manage the players 12 months of the year. We're going to have a focus on our skill development, so our footwork, our kicking, contact and tackling, invest in those key areas. And yeah, we really just want to build a program that's setting the gold standard, creating those habits and behaviours that we know is going to help players and our team thrive in finals at the right time of year. So it'll sting for a little while how this season finished, but we get a bit of time now to learn, prepare and launch when it's our turn next season. But in the meantime, we look forward to getting in behind our men's team, and it's a great opportunity for us to learn, share stories and our own professional development within the men's program. So we're really grateful for that connection and support and that opportunity. But thanks for the chance tonight, and certainly welcome any questions later on.